Will you look back when you're old and gray and think those dumb kids had a lot to say when we were trying to make this night one you'd remember? I don't care if my wheels don't turn, I don't care if my pipe don't burn, as long as I am flowing through your veins after I'm gone away.
It's Thursday night and you know what that means.
Yeah, and it's episode 101, so we've got a couple of guests on. We're going to do kind of a knockoff room 101 again. I sometimes refer to it as Destination Persuasion because it's just something different. But we've got 4 topics tonight, and we've done this before, but I think it's going to be interesting with these guests. So without further ado, first, he's done a big trip to America recently, so go and check out his vlogs. I've got his links in the description. It's Chris, Coaster Dad. How you doing?
Hey, how's it going, Mike?
That's good. How are you? How was America?
It was good. The return, the jet lag was horrible, but the trip was fantastic. It was great to get on everything. So yeah, just a ridiculous amount of content from 2 weeks in America.
What was your favorite part of the trip? If you had to, can you pick one or favorite park? Favorite park at least.
Oh, now you're asking tricky questions. Possibly Islands of Adventure. That might be a little bit cliche. Just it's between Velocicoaster and Guardians of the Galaxy. But Epcot's a bit meh, so I'm going to go with Islands of Adventure.
What's Velocicoaster like with the... I can't remember what it's called now. There's that special inversion that everyone goes on about.
Oh, the Velocicoaster... Yeah, it's like they've given it a name. Yeah, it's mental. Like, for most of it, I had my hands up, and then that last bit, you just feel like you're going in the water. So you're like, hold on again. So it's great fun. My partner wasn't a fan, though. I think we found her limits.
Oh.
So everyone's coming in the chat. And...
I guess I'm just nosing as well. Sorry, I'll just... Yeah. Hi, everyone.
And also back again, we've got Kieran Quinn from Screen Effects Kai. How you doing?
Hello, good evening. How you doing?
How have you been? How was Nemesis weekend?
Yeah.
How was Nemesis weekend for you?
Oh, busy. Yeah, I haven't walked that much in quite some time. But I overall enjoyed it. I think, I think similar to Blackpool opening weekend, but also very slightly different. It went to plan for them, but, but the company again was just spectacular. So I think that's what made the weekend, really.
Have you been since opening weekend?
No, I probably won't be back now till about Scarefest.
You live closer than we do.
I know, but I don't have an annual pass.
Oh, really?
Oh.
So, yeah, no, surprisingly. It surprises a lot of people to say that. But, well,
I don't want to butcher this. It's the Mosasaurus.
Thing is, when you've worked there for...
Yeah.
Huh?
We're just saying the name of the inversion. Sorry. Do you want to carry on?
Oh, yeah, sorry. Yeah.
Yep. Did you want to carry on what you were saying? I kind of interrupted you.
No, it's all good. No, all I was going to say is when you've worked there for 11 years, there's not much point of visiting every other weekend like I did when I was a kid. It's sort of the magic's a bit gone as an adult.
I don't
Whereas
say that.
Going down to other parks, it's a bit more of a thrill still.
Would you say Thorpe Park's more of a thrill then? Would you say it's a better day out?
Well, it is for me personally, just because it's not on my doorstep, so it feels like a little breakaway.
Mm. Yeah.
Less walking as well, right?
Well, yeah, there is that. But
so, without further ado, I'm going to bring in some photos, and we're going to start with the first category was Thorpe Park, and so we'll start with Chris. His pick to send into room 101 was Saw the Ride.
Yeah. I might get that reaction from a few people. Just to be clear, I've only done this ride once, and I was not impressed. Maybe I picked a bad day. The queue barely moved. It felt like there was going to be a pre-show because it moved in batches. There wasn't. The theming was okay. The ride was uncomfortable. I had a sore head. My daughter came off in pain. I just wasn't impressed with it. And
when did you ride it?
April.
Was it quite a while after it opened?
It was April last year.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So, recently-ish.
For a very short time, they had actors in the queue, and it wasn't really a pre-show, but they had someone getting tortured at the bottom of the stairs, I believe. Kieran will know more than me, I think.
I was expecting something like that, and then I was just like, why was we just didn't move, and then every 5 minutes it would move in bulk. I was just, it didn't make sense.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, they're coasting with the Joneses. They've got you both there.
And obviously now Thorpe Park's trying to go for this new kind of light and airy kind of theme. I suspect a few of their coasters might get rethemed in the near future, and this one's clearly quite dark, so I want to put it in the bin.
Were you in the, they batched the trains in twos, Loops and Lap Bars made a good point. Were you in the second car or the first one? Or train even?
Oh, do you know what? I can't actually remember. I remember like going into that little bit at the start of the ride where the wee guy's on his bike.
Oh, so yeah, you were in the second one, yeah. Because the first one goes around, you don't even see that bit.
Right, okay. But yeah, just uncomfortable. So that's my choice.
I thought it was good for the indoor bit. Well,
to be fair, I'd quite like to do the behind the scenes thing that they did last year. I don't know if they're doing that again this year. That looked quite.
Yeah, I'd love to do that. We did like the scale maze of it, but not
yeah, we did before the boat burnt down or sunk, whichever one happened first. I can't remember.
it set on fire first, then started to sink. Yeah.
Saul was riding well. I want to ask Ben, what's the last inversion like? Because I remember that was really painful. Like, we give Smiler inversion 12 a lot of flack, but Saul's last inversion is as if someone hit autocomplete on Rollercoaster Tycoon. And just, it's really tight. Do you not think?
It's not aged well, has it, that last turn?
Now, we'll talk more about Saw in a minute after Kieran's told us his pick for Thorpe Park, but I'm surprised you didn't both pick this because I think everyone in the chat's probably going to.
Oh, the logo.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. Basically, what the hell were they thinking to create that logo? I mean, a rebrand, fair enough. If you need to change your image, go for it. But what the hell is that logo? And I mean, I was there, I think, with everyone else watching that video when they announced changes come in and they did the four-part series. And I was like, oh, yeah, they've had some hit and misses over the years, and then they show these gorgeous logos that they've had over the years, and then it's like, oh, the big reveal, and then it was that. I mean, I've had some disappointments in my time, but that has got to be up there with the most disappointing thing. Do you remember like the backlash from Ghostbusters 2016? Very similar, I think, from fan bases. You know, you sort of go, look at what you could have had. This is what you get. I just think it's dreadful.
So for you, was it more the hype to get to this logo, or is it the actual logo itself?
Everything.
Okay.
Everything. So if they hadn't hyped it up, it wouldn't have been such a hard hitter. It would have just been it's still dreadful, but at least you haven't made a big song and dance about it. But they made a big song and dance about it.
Do you not think that there's sort of, what was that play, The Producers, where they found out if they made a really bad play, it would get talked about more? Do you think that's with Thorpe, where they go, if we make a bad logo, more people are going to go, oh my God, have you seen that logo? And then everyone's going to see it because they go, oh my God, I can't believe it.
But a theme park isn't about a logo. It's about the rides and attractions. You don't want people talking about your logo. You want them to talk about your rides and attractions so they come and spend money and visit them. You know, anyone can just talk on social media and go, oh, have you seen this thing? But does it make you want to go and visit it? Like, that logo to me doesn't make me want to go and stand at the entrance portal of the car park and go, wow, I'm going to take a selfie with that. Like, look at where I am. You're just going to walk straight past it and think, what the is that?
It definitely doesn't say theme park, does it?
It doesn't, no. And people have rightly pointed out it's a standard typeface that's had like 3 minor adjustments to it. And that's just totally bizarre. At least the old one was complete custom and work. I still think it worked. All they would have needed to do to that is keep it a simple black or white image and just keep it simple. Like you see it on all the flight cases around the place for Fright Nights and everything else. You see it and you go, yeah, that looks sleek and smart and a bit modern. Whereas this just looks dated, tired, old.
Does this look like sorry to interrupt you.
Caravan park?
Does it look like if it was a task on The Apprentice and one of the teams came up with
Yes, no, straight up, yeah. Alan Sugar's just there going, I want you to come up with a theme park. I mean, it doesn't sound like that. So sorry, Lord Sugar, if you ever watch it. I want you to come up with a theme park. You've got £10 budget. I want you to make £10 million turnover. All right, go. What have you got? So we come up with Thorpe Park. You're fired. Like, you know, it's just.
Can I ask a question?
It does give that vibe.
I'll ask Kieran, and if Kieran doesn't know, Chris can answer if he knows. But with the logo, I'm confused because at first it was just the words. Now, are the shapes part of the logo, or is the logo just printed on different things? Because
So,
the words are actually an actual font that exists, and someone found it out like on the day it got released. Someone went, "It's actually this font," and I don't know if you can copyright a font, can you? If it already exists.
Yeah, you can
yeah,
copy
already
it.
you
exists,
can
though.
buy a license for,
Oh,
for
okay.
fonts.
Or
So,
there
yeah,
is
if you
like a
buy
website.
the
Yeah, there's like a website that
Yeah.
I remember when I did my degree, and it was like you could go on this website just to download the font art and then put it within your Word art.
Oh yeah, but what I
within
mean
Word,
is, if
Microsoft
it's
Word.
something other people can just buy the rights to,
Yeah.
surely someone can just use that logo.
I guess that's
Yeah.
why they made 3 subtle changes to the font, just so that it was like, hey, it's unique. But
yeah.
it's funny. I'm with you. When I first saw this, I thought that is absolutely terrible. What on earth? Maybe I'm getting soft. It's growing on me now that I've seen them use it in a few places, and now that I know it's kind of, it is a stylization. They just change the colors and stuff, but I still prefer the old one.
I think the issue is with it. I mean, the logo. I mean, it's difficult calling it a logo. It's straight up. It's not a logo. It's a typeface. That's all it is. There's no imagery with it. There's nothing to type in. It's a simple typeface for your business. It's nothing more than that. The branding that goes with it, which is all the spirals and everything else, that's what saves it and makes it look less bad. If you were to see that in black and white on a board of attractions to visit without any of the branding, you would just think, oh, that's a small country park somewhere that's existed since the 80s. They haven't moved on with the times. That's the vibe it gives. With the branding, it gives it that bit of edginess to it and a bit of vibrancy, but that was ultimately done by somebody else. So they've kind of rescued what it was.
Are the shapes
And you would
part of it?
expect that from an old logo, an old company without a big budget to go, look, we can only afford a little bit. You don't expect it from a big company who has something that worked well for them. So I don't understand what they did. And that's, yeah.
Are the shapes part of it? Because when I first, the second day I saw it, I'm sure I saw, they were like, it looked like 2 sets of brackets on either side of it, and it looked like they were emulating the infinity sign, but only the edges of it round. But I don't know, are the shapes included in the logo?
As far as I'm aware, no.
Yeah, there's places they've got it without. They've just taken the text and put it on like posters and stuff. So I quite like Ben and Holly's comment about the uniforms.
It's that yellow and blue combination, isn't it?
I'm trying to put some, because I'm going to let you decide in a minute, but I'm trying to play devil's advocate for both. I think the Thorpe Park logo looks...
Can I just say, can people put in the comments which one they pick as well? Because then that helps me a little bit more, because I hate the pressure on me right now.
But,
I mean, I'm just going to say, I think this is a generally tough one, because I understand the issues Saw has.
Yeah.
But I'm a big fan of Saw the franchise, so I really enjoyed that aspect of it.
I only like the indoor
That's
part.
not a saving grace for a lot of people, but I can see the negative in it, whereas I can't see any positive in my thing.
And this is my problem, is that I have been on Saw the Ride where it has actually hurt my back and I've hurt my head whilst I've been on it. But then I've also got issues with the logo as well, but then I've also got positive about the logo. So it's like I'm always kind of like in between this is the thing. And we are asking me to make a decision. I find it really tricky. Because they're both quite good.
If people put quickly in the if people put quickly in the comments what reasons they'd put, and I'll come up with, and I'll let you decide the second topic.
Yeah, but I can understand.
You're probably gonna.
But the thing is, with Thorpe Park logo, I always just think somehow are they trying to make it obviously to make it be more of a shift towards
London?
Not London, but like fashion and style nowadays. It's more appealing to like younger generation. Because I always remember Thorpe Park as that infinity symbol. I don't know why. I just always remember it as that. So maybe clearly I'm old.
That's
it's maybe it's just an old thing. But
that's another reason why I think it's such a terrible thing. You've just said there, I always associate Thorpe Park with the infinity logo, and they've done away with that.
With this one I can't quite relate to, apart from immediately I'm thinking pastel colours that they use. That was the first thing I saw was all pastel colours before. And I just thought, are they doing it to be more sensory sort of
that's what I was going to
thing?
ask.
Or is it like the fashion where everyone's wearing pastel colours nowadays? And I think that's what I've got in my head. But
I don't know if Kieran knows the answer to this. And I'm only saying this because I'll give him a shout out in a minute. But a friend of mine who works in logos and things called Mark Lofthouse when ITV first changed their logo to what it is now, he said there's something about the rules when you make a logo, you pick certain colours, and ITV never did that. They keep changing the colour. Now, Thought Park haven't picked colours for this, have they? They keep changing it. It's just having whatever colours they want to fashion. Because I always used to think Thought Park, blue and orange and white. And now it's like, we just can put in any colour we want.
Yeah, absolutely. You should, as part of your brand package, pick several colours. So they're your key points to go to. So if you have it on a certain background, it's this colour. This is how the branding will be produced. It's always that colour, and it will always be that identifiable brand. So if you see the logo in any of those colours, you know it's the official thing, and you know it's whatever. That is just a standard brand guidance. I think you're right. ITV didn't do that back in the day, and it kind of screwed them over. Then they've had to rebrand again back to ITVX or whatever else they're doing. This, again, has so many different things going for it. It's difficult to keep track. It's kind of like they just do any different background whenever they feel like it. With
you read the comment, Kieran?
And that's a bit too much. Which one?
I'm related. Says it's Andy. He says related to John Wayne, but saw the ride made him start walking like John Wayne. Do you want me to nip this in the bud and pick one? Because I know which one I go for.
I think you know exactly. For me, I think
I even know.
I think I'm a bit biased because I probably. It's like, I don't know, if this had come up, it was always gonna. You want the next subject then? Yeah.
Yeah, I'll choose the next. I'm gonna pick
the logo to go in, only because I really like the indoor part of Saw.
I've worked a whole day today, so please be nice.
That's not what I was
expecting. The Thought Park logo is worse, I think. So I'll give that to Kieran, I think.
I'll tell you what's a worse thing than both of them. The Thought Park logo on Saw the Ride branding.
Apparently they're not used in the shop. Where was it?
Yeah, that wouldn't make any sense.
What is going on?
There's no Thought new logo in the shop, which is ironic because in Blackpool Pleasure Beach shop, don't they use all the logos they come up with?
This is the thing.
Different.
Earlier saying don't go there about other places.
Yeah. I'm just so glad that no other major theme parks in the UK have done the same thing and gone, we're also rebranding, guys, surprise! And then you just
don't jinx it. It could happen. I'll tell you what, this logo made me feel very sorry for all the flack we gave Drayton Manor last year. I didn't think it'd get worse than that.
I must admit, I found all the comparisons rather amusing to like other shows like This Morning and things like that came across the internet.
Well, it's because it's just basic fun.
The Drayton Manor logo was a shock, and I think it was a step back. But as they've changed the park and the new owners have taken it over, it actually makes more sense now. I think at the time it was kind of like that doesn't marry, whereas now it's like, but it is very family heavy and it does encapsulate that. And
is there a Pleasure Beach logo that says Lancashire on it?
Is there?
There is.
Oh, Jesus.
They've got them on bags. You can get bags which says Pleasure Beach Lancashire on it, and it's like.
That's what I'll ask for my birthday.
With Mr. Funshine as well. It's honest to God.
When I was there the other week in the Kiss Me Quick shop, they had Blackpool Pleasure Beach Resort, and Blackpool Lancashire. I was like, 3 things sitting next to each other. I was like, pick a logo, any logo? Like, what are you doing?
Yeah. Do you know what they didn't have merchandise-wise? Anything for the PlayStation. Hi, Amanda.
We want to go on to topic number 2 then?
No.
Go for it.
Right, we'll go with Chris's. I've got the photos lined up in order. So Chris's pick next. The next topic for everyone at home was dark rides. And Chris picked...
I picked a very random one. So, we're obviously going to be in Flamingo Land in a few weeks, right? I was like, I'm a completionist, right? I'll go and try everything, like even the little kiddie stuff.
I've not been to Flamingo Land yet.
Have you not?
No.
Oh,
so it'll be interesting.
Be interesting to get your opinion on this when we go then, because this thing, so it's obviously aimed at little children, that's fine, but it is the most bizarre. Again, the queue doesn't move because they seem to batch the cars out in a really weird way, and honestly, a baby could crawl faster than this ride.
Is it similar to Spooky 3D at Oakwood?
I've not been.
Because they literally push the cars out of the station.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of feels like that's but it was just so slow. I mean, it would be an okay little kids ride if it went a bit faster, but because it's so slow, if it's got a queue, it can't get through that queue.
Look at that face, the Dracula.
So yeah, it's also got a really kind of, it's got one of those tunes that gets stuck in your head, which is quite annoying. So,
is it like a repetitive tune as well? Like,
oh yeah, definitely. I reckon.
To be fair, I would have picked Labyrinth, but obviously Thorpe Park got rid of that. So this was my next pick.
I just want to say I've got credits for the photos in the description, so no one should kick off. We're safe for that one. And Kieran, for Dark Ride, picked. Yeah. Do you want to tell them what you picked?
So the overuse of UV lights, which is a strange one, but although they work in Dark Rides because that's kind of what they were there for, I just feel like there's something about them that can really cheapen an effect. And I feel like, without naming names, there's a company out there that just puts UV lettering on anything, and it's like, wow, look, UV lettering. It's like, yes, but I've seen the gag once before last week, and I'm seeing the same gag now, and it's just the same gags repeated over and over. And it'd just be nice to see something different. And I think if you look at the Curse Alton Manor, for example, they kind of did away with quite a lot of their UV, and it made a better experience. Whereas if you look at Jewel in its latter years, just UV nightmare, and wasn't as scary, wasn't as fun. So, yes, okay, the Hatbox Ghosts, use of UV there is fine, because that makes sense. But it's not everywhere. It's when it's just overused. When it's overused, nah.
I was going to say, another one that uses it a lot is Alice in Blackpool. That they really...
Yeah.
And you know what? I would have put Alice... Alice would have been my choice for that reason. And then I went, I don't want to be harsh on the ride because it's a rubbishy old ride and it's kind of fun for that reason. But then the UV aspect of that.
Would you say they don't need?
Hang on,
they need
UV light, that's the one.
Would you not say that UV light is needed though, because it kind of lights up the foreground while keeping the background dark, and that's what they need in a dark room, don't they?
Not always, though. I feel like dark rides don't have to be dark. The dark rides because they're in a building effectively, and you can put anything inside of it. And
do you
if you're just going to light up the foreground, what's the point in having the rest of it?
Wallace and Gromit's a dark ride. There's no UV in that.
That's a good point.
Exactly. Yeah.
Would you count? I'm just going to say this because someone said this once about dark rides. Do you count enclosed roller coasters as dark rides, or are they roller coasters? Yeah. Really?
They're both.
They're dark ride roller coasters.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they're a hybrid. They're indoors, so by nature they are a dark experience, but they're a roller coaster, but it's still a ride, and it's indoors.
Boo Blaster, yeah, I've heard of that as well.
But yeah, I wanted to put the Disney in here because I thought I want to give it, I want to get both sides of the argument.
I already made up a decision on this one, though.
I was going to say, I think Disney do it a little bit more classy, right? They don't just slap it everywhere like Blackpool did.
But go back to the other one, though, Mike. Take Disney out of the equation. There we go. Because that's got UV paint on it as well. Like a lot of that, you can see the fluorescent colours, and it's like, oh, okay, might be good for a kid's ride, but as an overall, they just leave them like that for years, and we end up with something like Alice, and it just looks dated and tired and old and rubbish.
Our Fairground DeLorean says, define the overuse of UV.
Like, just when it's everywhere without necessarily needing it.
Does the Curse have too much UV in it, or is that the right amount?
I think that Curse mostly has it towards the exit corridor and obviously in the queue line. And I think that's a good use for it. When Emily, bursts out of the energy and then the room lights up, that's used well, but then it disappears again. If it lit up and stayed there for like 5 minutes, you'd be going, yeah, I'm bored now. I can see all the dust on me. Oh, your teeth's yellow. Or she's got fake tan. It just doesn't.
I'd love to go on Dark Ride with
always need
people like that.
See, I don't know. Like, for me, I can understand what you mean by like the overuse of UV light. At the same time, I'm then thinking, well, if I had my own family and I've got some kids that are absolutely terrified, for example, if I had some children that were absolutely terrified of scary things, it'd be an absolute novelty. They'd love it because it's all bright and very like.
Well, not necessarily. UV light can be scary.
But at the same time, it depends
looks scary
what they do, and I totally get it. I totally get why, and I get it with Jewel as well. Like it was overly UV painted. I get it, and.
I think it's more of if that's the only trick they've got up their sleeve, it's overdone, right? If it's scenes and that's with other things, it's different.
I think
that's my point. It's the overuse rather than its entire use.
And you need a good mixture of different things to get a good experience, and I understand that.
I'd tell you, I wish I got a photo of it now. But the worst use of UV paint/light is when, do you remember in the garden bit in Jewel? And that person comes around the thing and then splash loads of paint on him. He looked like the Joker. The one that comes out before you got to the Wraith.
I mean, we've been through some scare mazes where, Hoodoo Voodoo with Extreme Scream. You're kind of going through stuff that's like cushion rooms, wobbly floors. You have a bag over your head at one point, but then towards the end, there's just one room that's all UV painted. And you have someone dressed up as like a giant voodoo doll.
Ruin it for everyone who's going this year because they don't change their mazes.
But they do. They did change the end bit from what I heard. So we had that, and it was like
I thought it was a gingerbread man, not a voodoo doll.
Too much. Yeah, I think you said gingerbread man and shouted loudly, but I was like, okay, it's meant to be a voodoo doll, but it kind of looked like the voodoo doll from Cornishes. But But it was.
Oh, by the way, you're voting for the one that you don't like.
I know, but I'm just saying.
In case, so you know.
I'm glad you've highlighted that comment because, Fairground DeLorean, UV should be used as an addition to what's there, not UV for the sake of UV, and that's exactly my point. If it's adding to an experience, great. If it's just littered it over, Alice, what's the need?
Yeah, and I get it.
It stops being novel at that point, and it just becomes this is its identity, this is all it does. And that's my gripe.
Although I would argue that UV can be scary. I don't think UV makes something not scary. Like look at that face. Looks like Slime from Ghostbusters.
The screaming face.
It does. When they made it UV, that's when that really looked like Slimer. Before that, it just looked like a face.
Did you want to make a decision on this?
But then I'm thinking, like on the other one. Like with the other ride, with you saying it's really slow and really repetitive, and it's like
you're going to struggle to choose that one because you've not experienced it, right? Until you've been on it, you know how bad it is.
Yeah, so we can't.
What is he doing to that cupcake?
That's not a cupcake. That's a slingshot. Well, it is a cupcake. That's a slingshot. The slingshot on the floor in front of him.
Cupcake in a slingshot.
He looks happy to be on a slingshot with it.
Well, I don't know. Like I can see it, but
which one would you put in room 101? Drum roll. You said you'd be all right picking this, and I've decided.
And then everyone's carried on talking, and I'm like, do you know what?
It's not. The stakes aren't as big as when you had to decide the tiebreaker in Attractions Ultimatum.
I would have said Chris's because.
Yeah, say Chris's then.
Because it's just when he said it's really, really slow and everything, I'm like, I can't imagine like a little family that's terrified of scary things just be sat on a ride.
Put as much UV paint and light as you want in these rides, but if they're slow, that's it. No way. That's the thing. We want stealth with UV paint.
I'm not going to be spooked. I'm going to be completely bored, even if I didn't have children with me. So I think it'd be that.
So that ties up one apiece. You've picked Chris's one.
Yeah.
I've just realised you've got 4 topics, right?
I understand where you're with the UV, but
if we have a draw, we'll come up with something. Right, I'm going to flip it now, and I'm going to let Kieran go first for the next one. The subject was
what is the next one?
Alton Towers. And yours was the parking. Now, what I want to put across before you say anything that I thought was interesting, I got a picture of the standard park on the website. And I got a picture of the express parking, which are both quite expensive. What I didn't get a picture of, but it's there on the website, is the blue badge parking is still 10 quid. I would have thought it's a bit weird to charge for disabled parking, isn't it?
Well, yes, but so my gripe with the parking, it's got nothing to do with the fact it's parking. We all need somewhere to park.
Yeah.
It's the cost of the parking. And I've tried to look at this from a demographic of all theme parks. I know other parks charge as well, but for the most part, it's a couple of quid. It's what you'd pay it, like a shopping centre for a day out. You think, oh, it's £3.50, park the car, max £5. You can't park anywhere else, so £5, fine. But when you go above that threshold, that's when it starts to take the mick. So if you look at Blackpool Pleasure Beach, they have their own parking, but they have 2 car parks. Yes, it's expensive, but you can do overnight and it works out quite reasonable compared to other places on peak days. I mean, I was lucky the last time I was in Blackpool, I managed to park on the strip for like 10 quid for 2 days, and it worked out well. But that's because they've changed the way the parking structure works from the council. But in previous times, it was either you park on one of the council car parks and pay a fortune, or you pay on Pleasure Beach and it might work out a bit cheaper. Now, if you go to, I don't know about the motorbike thing, but if you go to other parks, you don't have the luxury of having car parks nearby to choose from. You are pinned in to choosing their car parks or nowhere. So why then should we be shoehorned in to paying an extortionate amount? And someone's just said there, it's still cheap parking at UK parks. We look at some of the US parks. Yeah, absolutely. And the reason I picked this for Alton is there's a few reasons that I could put Alton into 101. But I think the parking is just getting ridiculous and out of hand. And it isn't just an Alton problem. But because this topic was Alton, I was like, well, the parking, straight away, it's got to go. Because when you visit, especially as young families now, everything's gone up in life. Why should you have to pay £10 before you've even left the door? Because you know as soon as you get there, well, boom, that's £10 just to park the car.
And then you've still got a 20-minute walk.
Exactly. You can't park down the road. And here's the thing, if you went to Chessington, you could probably park elsewhere, get a train in, walk from there, 15-minute walk, the same sort of walking distance. Same with Thorpe, park in Staines, walk up, get a cab, get whatever, a couple of quid. But £10 and you've got nowhere possibly else to go, that's a bit much. And I think it's going to get worse. So for me,
it's not anything to do with this. It's not anything to do with your point of it. But on a side note, I don't think Bianca watches this show, so we should be all right. I don't want to put ideas in her head. Do you think they're going to start charging gold passes eventually for parking? Just a little bit. Maybe not 10 quid, but to get more. It seems like they've taken the approach. It's a bit off topic, but it seems like Merlin have gone, we're down on visitors. We're going to charge as much as we can out the ones that are still coming instead of making the park better and making more people want to visit.
Yeah. Well, look, it's a difficult one because, I mean, if you look at annual passes now across the board, same with RAP users as well. If you have an annual pass, well, I know, but if you have a pass for whichever one it is, you still have to pre-book. What happened to the days of just rocking up on the day and being able to go in? Now you have to plan when you want to go. So it's not really an annual pass anymore. It's a season ticket.
That's why I was surprised the visitor numbers were down, unless it's just ticket prices, obviously. Because I thought they did that with the passes. They can know how many people are going to turn up.
Yeah, but if the annual passes work out as an attractive price figure for families and it work out cheaper even if they go 3 times, they'll buy that. But that means once they've paid that money, Merlin aren't making any more. So they have to make as much out of the normal day guests to recuperate the costs. If the annual pass worked out, I don't know, £30 a year cheaper, it's only £30 less than normal. Still works out good value, but you could actually go as many times as you want. Great. But I know some of them, there's a lot of limits now. You can't go on the summer holidays. You can't go at weekends. You can't go on this peak. That's getting a bit ridiculous. So when it comes, again, back to the parking thing, not only have you got to pre-book to go there, you've now got to spend £10. And if you're right, if they do start charging pass holders for that as well,
they already charge
another thing that isn't a benefit anymore. So
as far as I'm aware,
that's a wide issue.
Silver, and is there one below Silver? I know Silver have to pay for parking.
Silver have to pay for parking?
Yeah, because we have friends who were Silver, and there wasn't an easy way to upgrade. They had to wait till the passes ran out and then buy gold for the next year. There wasn't a way they could go, can we pay you a bit more and upgrade to gold? Because they bought Silver, they wouldn't go very often, and then they end up going to the parks often. Because we often said, if we're there, tell us and we'll give you one of our passes.
Yeah.
Just go on the way out.
Well, yeah, but I didn't even know that. So, I can fully see it happening where there'll be the ultimate pass. Everything's free as many times as you want. No pre-book necessary. It's limited in numbers and how many they sell. maybe I should have picked annual passes. Now thinking about it.
It's free for platinum and it's free for gold. Well, if you're there, one of us will jump in your car on the way out if you need free parking. But yeah, Sibby,
but
free
that's not
platinum and gold at the moment.
But it's not the point, you know. I think just the whole factor for Alton for me, and that's why I chose this category, is if you go, there is nowhere else you can possibly park, and it's straight away £10 before you've even left your house if you're going, because you don't have another option. You're shoehorned in paying £10 to park your car not to park your car, to get your car off their property. It's £10, which I just think is ridiculous. Yeah. Make it a £5, and that's acceptable.
It depends.
I mean, really,
if you wait till the end of the day, they just put the barriers up.
But yes, you say that, and that is quite no knowledge. However,
I don't
think I'd put it past them to you have to scan a barcode on your phone. Now we're in this world of digital rounds, they'll keep them down at all times.
We've always been on passes anyway, but we used to realise that you could park in the hotel car park if you didn't have a pass, and no one was checking it. But now I've noticed sometimes they do have people staffing it now, so they must have cottoned onto that.
Well, exactly, and that's only going to get more stringent as time goes on, because obviously if people are doing that, it's sort of seen as loss of prevention from their side, because people are sort of cheating a system that they're not meant to. That car park at Splash is for hotel guests only. It's an exclusive perk. If you stay at the hotel, you get free parking. That's fine. So those spaces should be reserved for those guests. So the more people who come and go, just go park down there, well, hotel guests might not have anywhere to park, and then that causes issues.
The thing about the platinum
I can see why they'd staff it.
The thing about the platinum pass is, you're paying so you can go on extra days, but they're all days I wouldn't want to go because they're too busy. That's what I find it weird that people go, yeah, I got the platinum, but I can see people buy it now because they've released that Nemesis one. People want the Nemesis one probably.
Yeah, and I do get that. But when I was a kid, that's when I used to go and have an annual pass. There'd be some days when I'll give him a shout out, Sam Jones, my friend, when he used to come up and he'd just message me on, as he was driving up. Right, mate, I've decided to go up to Towers today. You're free? And I go, oh yeah, let's go. And this would be like at 12 in the afternoon. You couldn't do that anymore because you have to pre-book. That's not.
It shouldn't be a problem for him though on Explorer Central, is it? I don't know what
that's the one. Yeah.
Oh, I got it right. Yeah.
You probably only got that right because I was taking the mick out of him on Nemesis.
No, the X and the C.
I think he got some usable footage from his vlog.
So I'm going to go on to, how I don't want to say it's over before it's begun, but how I thought in the background I thought the logo was going to go into Room 101 definitely.
Mm-hmm.
I think that Chris is going to have you beat here, whether it's me or Stacey who decides, because he has picked the food.
I've lost. Well done, Chris.
Strategic. Yeah. I mean, do I even need to justify this one? I think it's pretty obvious, right? It's just quality's gone down the pan.
Can I just show you something, right? This is what the food's meant to look like. And then I've got a photo of a breakfast I think someone at the lodges got delivered to them.
Someone with a box. Yeah, that's the one.
It's like a melon partridge.
Oh my gosh, it is.
It's just...
I want a full breakfast.
Did they not? I'm sure I saw in people's vlogs that the pizza pasta is now £21 a head. Like, that's just ridiculous. It was already expensive. Now it's
always got a big queue as well. I'm always surprised by that.
Oh my word!
Sense. So yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I've not tried it personally, but I've seen like the cupcakes bit outside Curse at Alton Manor. That seems to be nicely done.
Yeah, it's quite good.
So maybe there's some hope, but yeah, the general stuff.
That's not proper food though. When you talk about if you want a meal.
That's just That's just theming. Yeah, if you want, it's just I just don't. I'm not looking forward to next week getting some food, to be honest. But yeah,
shame you can't bring several pet lunches.
That's what it's meant to look like.
In an ice bag.
I've never seen food look like that in Melon Park.
No, I just want to throw in 2 sentences here because I think we all know the food is going to Room 101. Because even I can't compete against that one with anything. I absolutely agree. I was so disappointed and have been with the quality of their food since they took over that I just think, what is the point of spending this money? I'd rather just take a snack and go to the local Spoons in Cheadle. Like,
do you think Merlin and I'm not saying this is definitely the case, but do you think they're just trying to squeeze as much money as they can and just going, when Universal's here, we might just try and sell the parks. So let's make as much money as we can now and just quit if Universal gets built. That's what it kind of feels like.
I think the best thing they could do is just approach Universal and go, would you like to buy the properties? Because they could really transform Thorpe Park into that Universal resort.
It already feels like a movie park with some of the stuff they've got.
No, exactly.
So did you want to pick this one, or did you want? It depends. Do you want to pick the last one?
I think I'm going to.
Last one's wild card.
I'm going to go food.
You're going to straight away food.
No,
Obviously.
Bringing Old Towers because they don't have recognisable brand eateries. Because I thought the problem was everyone said, "Oh, they've got IPs. We want discount," and now Playground DeLorean's like, "I want my IPs back for." Well, I suppose you don't call them IPs; it's franchise, isn't it? But,
yeah, I mean, it used to have McDonald's and that, didn't it?
I love that McDonald's. That used to be where Bird Kitchen was. There's not a Bird Kitchen anymore in Forbidden Valley. It's called something else. I can't remember what it's called. Chicken something. It's next to the donut. I can't remember that now.
Oh,
they changed the name, so they were funky.
Whatever they've changed it to.
Right, does wings or something now, isn't it?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. The queue looked massive for it, and we all just went,
"Oh, really?
Go elsewhere." Yeah, but I think it's one of the only food outlets that end of the park, though, isn't it? Really, apart from Roller Coaster Restaurant, and that's a quirk. But again, the price of that's a bit steep for the.
I used to like woodcutters, but it's just like the reason we still try and eat at the park. Although if you saw our vlog from day 2, we got problems. I said, "Oh, it's a little life hack here. Go to the lunchbox at CBeebies because they do pizza and it's good." And then they end up mucking up the order. And I went, "I retract that statement about life."
But as again, it was opening week. Every time we've had opening weekend, there's always
you don't burn a pizza over and over and over again.
Every
I walked in and I was like, "You can smell burning in here," and this is like where kids are. And then in the vlog, it's in the vlog, Kieran, but the feedback tablet, and I film it. I go, "That's one way to not get bad feedback." And you look at the plug; it's turned off. There's
been 2 instances where Mike ordered a steak and he never got his chips.
Oh, at Roller Coaster Restaurant, I went, "Can I just pay for the chips?" I never got my steak.
Where he never even got the steak and chips. So that was ages ago.
That was funny where I got the chips because I said to the manager, "Can I just pay for the chips?" Because I never got the steak, and he went, "No, we'll get the steak sent out to you." And at that point, I was like, "It's been too long, mate. I just want to."
But you never got we never got things right on opening days. It's always opening days, which I understand that they change their stuff around, but
I don't think you can blame it on opening day, really. Well, technically, it was the day after opening day.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Going back to woodcutters, though, Mike. I remember I remember old fireworks days in the past because we'd always go woodcutters, wouldn't we?
Yeah, just get like beers,
always a decent meal. It was always, plate full of fries, side salad, good burger, whatever, full plate. And we all used to say, "Oh, this is like the Alton Towers version of spoons." It's about 10, 15 quid, with your drink plus discount, whatever. Good portion. Yeah, that's all right. That now, 5 chips. 2 onion rings and a burger that's a bit stale. It's not what it was when you had good quality and it's slowly going downwards. That's when you need to stop thinking.
I feel like the quality is there and the price is there.
They're switching.
Yeah, the price to quality ratio is way out of kilter for
absolutely.
For them,
So we've got and I hope I've got this right. For the wild card, we have got I'll go with I think it was Chris's first. I hope I got this right. You said about the scanning for the rides. Was this?
Yeah.
Oh, I've lost this round again as well.
Cool. I get it made sense when they had the kind of non-rider pass, and can you get on this ride? They obviously scrapped that for COVID, and I would have thought if they were going to bring it back, they would have done so by now. So clearly, they're not planning on bringing it back. And the fact that they apparently lost a ton of money last year, if they were going to do it, they'd have brought it back this year to get some people in the door. They haven't, so why do I need to scan on every single ride? If I'm in the park, I've paid. There's no 2 tiers anymore, so it makes no sense.
I've seen a video of on Ginger and Brown, down from Ginger and Brown, 10 years ago. It's a friend of his called Jack Fletcher, and he was doing a funny video where he's going, lettuce, tomato, as if it was a shopping thing, and you hear a woman in the background go, "If you do that one more time," scanning it over and over again.
Yeah, it just doesn't make sense, and not there's not really. I mean, you go to something like Towers, you scan to get in, and then that's it, you're done. It's just stand in a queue. And they give some crap excuse about it helps them monitor the flow of people around the park. Other parks manage it without this, so why can't Blackpool?
Do you reckon they have problems with people sneaking in? That's what it seems like.
Oh, yeah.
There's only one way in, though, isn't there, really?
I don't know. Can you climb the fence? I don't know what people are like in Blackpool.
I suppose it's been proven some people will, but I don't know. It's kind of boxed in, isn't it, really?
It just doesn't. I mean, it's to me, it's either bring back the pass for non-riders or scrap this, because it doesn't make sense right now.
If that was true, Sibby, would they not have got rid of Infusion by now?
Yeah, and that's so that comment there, that's exactly it, right? They're apparently monitoring traffic flow. But again, how do other parks do this? They don't have you scanning on rides, so
surely they'd have like cameras or something.
Well, no, I can understand the number, but I don't think they're actually monitoring the flow.
Leave the turnstiles in, just don't make you scan so that they count people walking through. Like there's ways around it.
Like lasers, yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't like wearing wristbands in general. Like
no.
When we get fast track Owen Towers sometimes. And I'm always worried that I've got to keep this wristband in really good condition. Otherwise, it's going to rip off my wrist.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Now it's on your phone, so a lot of people are like, "Oh, wasting your battery." Like, it doesn't make sense. I don't like it.
It's not just wasting your battery life; it's wasting your life because you just stood there with your phone in your hand for most of your day trip, and you want to not be doing that.
Well, the other thing as well, when I go, I always get the group ticket, right? So I'm usually there with my kids, so I just get one QR code for the 4 of us. But that doesn't work. It shows the 4 faces, and the guy has to press the button 3 times. So it doesn't.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So there's no point in it.
What's the point? So yeah, it's a mess. I just don't like it. Good luck, Kieran.
Do you want to guess what Kieran's
picked before? I'm screwed. Mine's very niche as a wild card.
His isn't a theme park thing at all. Because I did say you could have wild card wherever you wanted.
Okay, go on.
Do you want to guess what it is?
No.
Do you want to tell everyone what it is? I've got one photo, Kieran.
So controversial, but it looks like another one is happening. It's musical numbers in Doctor Who.
Huh?
Yeah.
So I know a lot of people are okay with it, and a lot of people aren't. I'm conflicted. It basically combines 2 of my greatest loves: my entire career within theatre and Doctor Who. But there's a time and place, no pun intended, where you just don't bother with mixing things together. And I just feel like if you've got this very serious, comical sci-fi show with slightly educational stuff
Hang on.
there, with historic characters.
Can I just stop you a second?
Go on.
Very serious and comical sci-fi show.
Slightly comical, because you like the Doctor isn't human, is he? And some of the characters you want meet, they're not human. So
was there a musical number in Star Trek?
Yes, the one that was in New World.
I'll be getting to that. So, yeah, like some of the characters, they're a bit over the top and they're not quite normal, which makes you laugh. It's a bit of a comic relief in what is otherwise a dark world of death and destruction, and they always get the balance right, like if you've got a sidekick like K9 comes out with some great lines, you just think, what a stupid tin dog. And then you're thinking, it's kind of funny though, because there's these giant creatures that are poisoning these kids that want to kill half.
That's Aramark,
that's
isn't
kind
it?
of dark. Yeah. So it has the balance, but then why all of a sudden is the Doctor now? Oh yeah, by the way, kids, I can sing. It's like, what is going on? Now I understand, and this is why I've put it into the mix, and why I want it in Room 101. The Christmas special is a special. It's a one-off. It was an introduction to the new companion and everything else. And I don't mind musical sections. So a big thing would be like the Cantina Band in Star Wars. There's a bit where there's a singing alien, but they don't make it a statement piece. It's just part of the atmosphere to build the world. So Doctor Who did it years ago on the Titanic, and they did it in
the Titanic.
Yeah, they did the space Titanic.
I'm not.
Yeah, they had a
I don't watch
singer on
Doctor
that as
that
well.
much. That's
It
why
wasn't Kylie Minogue. It was a bit of a sinner, really.
Yeah.
And they've had other musical acts in it before. It's we're setting a bar and there's a musical act, so we're going to like pan the camera up. Oh, she's singing lovely, and then it fades to the background and it's back into the action. That's fine because that's world building. But when you've got your main characters who aren't in a musical, all of a sudden breaking out into song and dance and whimsical stuff, that's a bit too far. And I believe we're having another episode in the next series that is a musical number.
Is that because Disney are funding it?
I hope not. From what I gather, Disney's funding has no control over the show.
Oh, really?
They just give the money and go, we want this many episodes, and basically little creative control. But they don't have a say on the scripts. They don't have a say on what content they want. They just have a say of, they need to be an hour-long episodes, and we want 14 of them if we're going to give you this amount of money. And you've got to have at least one character that's this, one character that's this. Okay, great. That's all our terms and conditions because we're just helping fund your show and put it on a platform. A lot of people think Disney own Doctor Who now and they're the creative powerhouse behind it, and that's not true. Yeah. That's really not true. The fact is, BBC gave up on it several years ago. Bad Wolf Studios was formed, and now BBC has like the smallest percent in Doctor Who.
I lost a bit of touch after watching Doctor Who, after so many doctors, of course. But from what I could see, I thought they were doing it because of the captain, because he decided to go and work in pantomimes, and I thought that's why they started it.
Yeah, but you wouldn't sing to the camera.
So for some weird reason, I thought that's why they were doing it.
It's a bit like
because he went off to do his own series.
The only way I wanted to describe, and I think Kieran will agree with me, the only way I can describe this in a way that people will understand how it's weird, it's going to sound really weird. In Toy Story, there are no musical numbers where the characters actually sing to the camera, and it would be very different if it was. And I think that's what he means. Like, I'm assuming, I don't watch Doctor Who that often, they're singing to the camera. And the camera's not meant to be there.
Remind me, Kieran.
They are singing as part of it. So, there's in the Christmas episode, without giving too much away for people who might want to watch it, there's the Goblin King, who and all these goblins can sing. He's got a fan. And the main singer is very nice because all the other goblins are like, "Oh yeah, it makes me swoon," and she's there with a lovely angelic voice, so she doesn't even sound like a goblin. And then they finish that number, and then the Doctor's like, "Oh yeah, hit it, Janice," because somehow he automatically knows the name of that goblin without even having an introduction to them. Great, sure, fine. But then sings the exact same song they were just singing, but changes the words. Not only does the Doctor do it, the companion does it. And it's like, no, you've lost me. There's no way two random people can just improv that song straight away and it be like, pa. That's rehearsed, that's scripted. You weren't in any danger. You've completely taken me away from the suspense. I know, it's a bit of fantasy. There is no such thing as Goblin Kings in the ship in the sky.
Something as well.
But it's still too far.
Chris wanted to ask you something as well, I think.
Because I was trying to remember why they were singing in that episode, because obviously the Star Trek one was like some spatial anomaly that made everybody sing, and like, still weird, but there was kind of some justification for it. But yeah, you just kind of explained why they sang.
With exactly the same with Buffy the Vampire Slayer. They did a musical number, which a lot of the fans of Buffy love. But again, that's a possession spell. So
when they're singing about the bunnies.
Yeah, but they're all possessed, so that kind of makes sense. It's within that world. It's this just came out of nowhere, and I know the next one
didn't flow properly.
Are they singing to the camera, or are they singing to each other?
No,
what I mean is, are they looking at the camera as if you're the audience when the camera shouldn't be there in their world? Or are they singing to each other?
It could be
no, but here's where this episode gets worse, and I think would factor into it because you could class it as part of it. Actually, tell a lie, there's 3 episodes of Doctor Who that's musical, because not only was the Christmas special musical, there was a musical part in part 3 of the anniversary specials, where Neil Patrick Harrison sang Spice Up Your Bloody Life.
Oh no!
I get he's a wonderful character. I get it's Neil Patrick Harris. I understand that. What I don't understand is why the Celestial Toymaker, who is from beyond our universe, knows that song and can sing it, and as a proper winking nod to the audience of, "Hey kids, look at what I can do." Yeah, and no, yeah, just
the more I think about it, the more you turn around and go, "I vote for Chris's."
I mean, Kieran's pretty passionate about this one.
Yeah.
If it makes sense, it's fine. But it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, but think about the angle you've got towards that, Kieran, right? And put it on the shelf for a second. can it possibly ever outweigh the fact you have to wear these wristbands at Blackpool?
This is what would everyone else
because
choose?
that can go away. What can't go away is what's been recorded and is out there for the world now to see forever, which is the musical episodes of Doctor Who. And we don't need more. For the love of God, Russell, if you're watching, which I doubt it, stop it.
But maybe that's the new
direction.
direction.
We know you to be. Stop
Maybe
giving
that's the new
creative
direction
control
they
to
need
a
to go in.
musical.
It'd be so
if you
funny
want
if
to do musical episodes, produce a musical on the weekend.
I think Kieran's gonna explode if we're not careful. So
I think
he
Capaldi
might
was good.
spontaneously combust.
I would have liked Capaldi to play the character he plays in The Thick of It and play like that, but I thought Capaldi was good.
Have you seen Torchwood's Children of Earth?
No, I wasn't a fan of Torchwood, the actor that plays Torchwood.
Yeah, that's what I
It's a bit like, look at me, I've got a smile.
But that's
He's
why
a
I
very
thought
similar
started it
character.
all with him going off doing pantos, and then all of a sudden these musicals appeared in Doctor Who, and I'm like, oh, does this mean he's making a comeback because he went off to do pantomimes for a bit?
Hot Ice.
That's what I thought.
I don't know what is Hot Ice.
That's the show at Blackpool. That's the.
Oh, I thought it was, and then I thought maybe he's thinking something else. That would be brilliant.
Absolutely not. Don't give them their idea because they probably will.
It's filmed already.
If that's the case, we need to bring the Ice Warriors back as well. Then, if this is going to happen,
Ice Warriors have been back. You need to catch up.
I really do. I stopped immediately when they started making a film, so I was like, yeah, I'm not doing it anymore.
So
the so-called Eighth Doctor.
Are you going to want to pick this one? I know you picked the last one, but you can pick this one.
Leave Paul McGann alone. He is the Eighth Doctor.
Yeah.
Oh. I don't know. Are you going to want to make the decision on this, or is it
I
just
don't
too
know.
close?
Like, I agree. It is a really close one, but I agree with both.
Kieran went on for ages. It's like, do you know what?
Honestly,
the wristbands, though. The wristbands.
Honestly, I'm not disrespecting either of you in any way. The amount of effort that you've all put, you've put in trying to explain it, reasons why you chose it and stuff, but it's just tricky because I can see both sides. Again, this is my problem.
You're saying there's another musical episode coming up, Kieran. Maybe the Doctor's wearing a wristband.
Yeah. He'll be scanning it to a beat.
What, in the TARDIS?
Yeah.
But the wristbands can be taken away. They can be taken away. They don't need to be banished.
You say that. They managed to almost delete from history the Star Wars Christmas special that George Lucas hated. So they could delete
almost, but not completely.
Yeah.
I just thought of an older episode thinking if he needs to get up the stairs.
Oh no, we're only talking about the musicals.
And just scan to get up the Dalek up the stairs. A bit like a chairlift. Sorry, that was just my weird brain working.
But what a great episode of that era for Sylvester McCoy, where it's just like, stairs, Ace, get up the stairs! Because the Doctor's like, even the Doctor went,
exactly.
They can't get upstairs. And then all of a sudden the Dalek starts salivating, and you see the terror on his face, and he goes,
I was terrified.
I'm actually screwed now. That was, But imagine if the Dalek just went, ha, 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 now I can get up the stairs, get up the stairs, get up the stairs. It wouldn't have the same...
to the tune of I've got something that get on your nerves.
Just get on your nerves,
know, it just would not have the same emotion.
No, I get it.
Do you want to pick this one, or?
You pick it. I can't stop laughing. You pick it. Oh, go on.
I know what I want to pick, but it depends. Do you want to pick it or not?
Which one?
Well, no, it's up to you. Do you want me to do this?
You decide, because I don't think I'm going to be liked because of this.
See, the problem with Doctor Who is...
Because Kieran's looking at it, we're going to...
People like David Tennant, right? And I've just realised how much Craig from Adam and Craig Do Stuff looks like David Tennant. So do you reckon he modelled himself on David Tennant? But I think David Tennant acts a lot like Jack Sparrow. And I'm not...
What?
Do you not think he acts a lot like Jack Sparrow in Doctor Who? Where he's coming up with these random things, the way he moves.
I think he's like
that. Well, no, because David Tennant goes like, oh, yes, brilliant. And
that's very similar to Jack Sparrow, though, isn't it?
Wait, I've got it. They're very different.
One's drunk, one's not.
Exactly. One wishes they were drunk when they went, hey, David, so Doctor Who rating. I don't know why it's an American producer. Doctor Who's ratings aren't very good, so we're gonna put you back in the show, okay? Only 3 episodes though, man. Which would have been my wild card. However, a lot of people love David Tennant, and I just think they wasted him for 3 episodes. But that's not the point.
I know what I'll go with, but that's because of personal experience. So I'm going to choose this one, am I?
Yeah.
As much as Kieran went on for it, as long as he went on for.
Oh!
I hate those wristbands.
We're not
and I hate scanning it at Blackpool.
We're not worthy.
Because if we're just putting that against the musical episodes of Doctor Who, I suppose I don't love Doctor Who enough to mind it being ruined, but I don't like my day being ruined by those.
Yes.
What are the comments saying?
Where's the rum gone?
I think
Sibby's saying you be your food. That's not how it works. Oh no, Sibby agrees with me now.
I think to be fair, we've probably
So that's mean Chris has won 3-1.
Yeah.
Woohoo!
How does it feel, Chris?
I was going to say, what's the prize? What do I get?
You get fulfillment. I'll get you some. I'll bring something along to Flamingo Land.
Yeah, we'll bring something with us.
Wristbands need to go into the sea. Yeah, I don't know if
No,
This is a question I've got, actually, about the scanning of the wristbands. What if there was a power cut?
They just go
Obviously,
on.
be like, just get on the.
But have one of those hand ones.
Like,
so you know when you have to like.
Mate,
you have to
if there's a power cut, I don't think you're going on the ride.
That's
no, exactly. It's just like, but even then, like, what if you've already scanned to go in and then you're ready to go, and it's like we can't go anywhere else now because you. But you don't have to scan to go out, do you? I've never really experienced it. I've only been.
You just scan to go on the rides. It's on the rides, not the park.
No,
every ride. Now you see what we mean. You have to scan it to go through this turnstile.
It don't work, and then you basically sit there fiddling, and then the guy has to press a button. It's just.
Yeah, because people do it on their phone now as well.
I remember going once, but I don't think we ever had.
Never again, because that's what made you not want to go back.
Next.
What does before we wrap things up? Does Chris want to promote? We've got your links in the description. Do you want to promote what you've done recently?
Yeah, well, I mean, I just did 2 weeks over in Florida, so I've got 8 vlogs are now up. I've got tips videos coming, POVs. My partner's vegetarian, so I did a video about how difficult it is to get vegetarian food in America, which kind of surprised me. So,
it's quite difficult.
Oh, do you know what? So the opening line for the video, she went a trip like a couple of years ago without me, and she went to McDonald's and said, "What do you have for vegetarians?" And the response was a chicken sandwich.
Oh.
So
what does that say?
That's the level we're dealing with. That's yeah, it's yeah, not good.
Don't worry, man. There's that much chlorine in it. It don't matter.
Yeah.
To be fair, that Coasting with the Joneses put love your Towers Histories videos, Chris, as well. And also, I like the ones with the decades ones as well. They are so good. So well done doing them as well, and putting them together.
Yeah, I've had requests.
And I actually learned something from your video.
Did you?
Yes, I didn't know they had the little sci-fi museum around the back of the towers. I didn't know about that, and I saw your thing and went, "No, he's got that wrong." Googled, went, "Holy crap! It's true. It was there." And that I thought I knew everything about that park, having worked there for 11 years, and it amazed me that I still learned something about that. I was blown away by that, just so easy to watch as well. Like that doing it in those sections is like a proper way of learning something that's nice and
I'm going to try and do Thorpe Park, but it's a lot easier to do Towers because you've got Tower Street and Tower Times website. They kind of give you everything. I don't know if there's a Thorpe Park equivalent, but I'm going to try.
Thorpe Park have any fans?
There's memories of Thorpe Park. They have a lot of stuff. That's about it, I think, isn't it?
But yeah,
a lot of there's a couple on Instagram, but I don't know who or what they are really. They just seem to have access to photos no one else has seemed to have posted, but
yeah,
I don't know who they
are. We'll find out after the show.
It would be cool if Chris does Thorpe Park. I'd just like to see all the details he can dig up on Wicked Witch's Haunt and Phantom Fantasia. That'd be cool to see.
That would be cool.
And the fire that killed it all. But they kept one car and put it on the carousel. Is the carousel still at Thorpe?
So even just talking to people that used to visit Thorpe Park, that'd be quite good. Like, what memories they'd have.
No, the carousel to Chesington, I think.
Oh, there is an equivalent. All right, there we go. But yeah,
you know what it's called?
That's all the stuff that I've got.
Like Kieran, what's Kieran? Is Kieran going to be bigging up Doctor Who? Or?
Yeah, so I'm proud to announce I'm writing the next musical episode of Doctor Who. I'm actually working on bringing back Scare School for this year. I'm literally will be back in on the documents right now, working on it. So if you're interested in being a scare actor or want to know more about it, you can just send me an email. I'm doing I can't speak anymore. 30-minute free consultation. No quabble consultation. Is that the word? No obligation for it. That's the one. No obligation. Hey, if you just want to have a chat about what scare acting is and what the Scare School could do for you, if you're interested in learning more about it, because
have you documented
or boo. So
have you documented the Scare School on video at all?
I've got some video.
That might be something cool to see, like by the tail end of the term, I guess you'd call it, just to see like bits that you've done, and this is. Or follow certain people through to the end.
It's called Scare School. It's not a term like a school way. Really, it's about a 6-day course if you want to do everything in fine, and I mean in fine detail, and by the end of it, come out and being an expert essentially. But you can condense it down into one day where you go over the basics, and then it's up to you as a performer to go off and away and learn. It's been very successful. The last class that I did, the KPI scores, which I absolutely despise, but they are good to know, was 94% across the board. So
that's amazing.
Really good up there. But yeah, so that's going on the website because you can still find Scare School stuff now. It's just a bit rubbish. So I'm updating it, and it should go out by the end of this week / Monday at the latest, with all the new information, the free PDF files for you to go to. And slight plug for ScareCon, and this is sort of a bit of a reveal. All booked in to be doing a talk this year at ScareCon, which is
when is ScareCon for people that
it's June the something 5th. I think June the 5th or June the 15th. It's around there. It's June. So I'll be doing a talk. Don't ask me on what yet. There's quite a few topics that are being condensed so it can fit into half an hour comfortably. But yeah, those are the big two things I've got coming up now.
Can I ask something?
Oh, wonderful.
This isn't related to this, but I don't know if Chris will be interested because I know he's going as well. That John Wardley thing where Bianca and John Burton are going to be there and we can talk to them, that event. Mm-hmm. I know they say did they say it was a Q&A?
They did say, yeah, I think they did.
When it's a Q&A, are they going to fob down questions that aren't about Nemesis? Like if I ask Bianca about the visitor numbers and the price is going up and her interpretation of, is that a good idea? Is everyone going to shoot that down and go, that's not what we're here for. We're here to say Nemesis is good. Well done.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing because somebody's going to ask, what are you doing with Galactica? But I guarantee they won't answer anything that's not Nemesis related.
I'm
John
curious.
Burton, are you John Wardley's son? No, I don't know.
Same first name, not the same second. I'm curious to know because obviously we will have a lot of comments for Wardley. Just what do you think of the new process? Were you involved? And all those kind of general things.
He'll just go.
Questions for John Burton will be, how did you come up with the eye? How did you do this? And those sort of things.
Are we taking bets on if he's going to have his RMC mug there?
Probably. But what questions are you going to throw at Bianca about Nemesis? That's the confusing bit for me. There's only one question I could think of. What input did you have? That's the only thing I can think of.
That's so offensive.
But I'm trying to say it in a nice way. But the ride designers are the ones who know everything and
but she probably signed something off, and she signed off opening day. It was all ready.
Yeah, what operation?
Exactly, that's it. So that's the one question, isn't it? What involvement did you have?
Oh, anyone else is going? I'm not going there to make a show of anything. So it's
no. I mean, I won't be there, sadly. But
do you want to mention your photo challenge?
Oh, I will do. But if you want to let Kieran just carry on, sorry a second.
I'm good.
Sorry.
Right, next week, if anyone wants to watch the show next week, we have got Cherie, who's also called Surfer Girl 326, and Mike Klemovich is coming on the show.
Yeah.
We're doing all Disney quizzes, logo quizzes, music quizzes, what happens next, stuff like that. Because one of them seems to think they're the best at Disney, so Disney knowledge, one of them's going to be embarrassed. and they'll both be on the show next week. So if you want to play along at home, you can do.
Sounds good.
I think I put that links in the description. I can't remember, but if I haven't, you won't find them. Did you want to tell me about your photos?
So the photo challenge, which is the last day today, is portrait, and the next one for next month is pattern.
I'm laughing at some of the
So obviously, if you
and then the next one, I mean Bianca. Brandcaster never wrote OG Nemesis. Brandcaster never did.
So just to let you know that the last one for today is portrait. I do have someone that's actually DM'd me a photo that I need to tag them in on my stories, which I will do. But then obviously as of April, it will be pattern would be the prompt, which is going to be very interesting. So if you want to take photo, put it in your stories, tag me Stacey_L2E. And then I'll make sure that I'll share it on my stories as well. If not, you can just DM it me and I will eventually post it on my stories as well. Just a little shout out and I will tag you in it as well. So there you go. And this is Angelica.
Kieran, are you planning on riding Hyperia this year? Or?
If I get around to it.
So I was gonna ask,
that's the short of it.
I was going to ask if you could come on after you've ridden Hyperia, and I'd hear what you'd want to say about it.
Well, for me, a roller coaster isn't just about being tall, fast, and big. If I wanted that, I'd go to.
But this one is. Yeah, but that's the point. This one is.
But it hasn't got the theming. It hasn't got a big story that you can really immerse yourself into. It's just really tall and a bit fast for the UK.
I've actually met people that say they prefer thrills to theming.
So. So it hasn't got a draw for me. It just looks a bit disappointing. It's quite well-known knowledge. I don't like Hyperion already before I even read it because it just looks like a disappointing ride.
How close was I to the opening date, by the way?
And how
close was I to the opening date? Do you remember 2 weeks ago? And I said 26th of May, and it was very close.
It's very close, isn't it? Yeah. But I'll be going on it at some point, but. Yeah, I don't know when. I don't know when I'll be down south again, to be honest. So, is
Chris going to try and ride it close to opening, or
that was I was trying to figure out if I could fly down and back in a day.
Yeah, I'm thinking now because
I'm miles away, and I would have to get a BA flight, and it was going to cost me £500 return for the day. And I thought that's a lot for a roller coaster. I'll not be doing that.
It's almost as much as parking.
That's with discount, yeah.
So no, I think I'll need to do like a week where I just
trip,
do all the
road trip. Your road trip was good last year.
That's why I did it, because it's so far away. I may as well make the most of it.
Oh no, I won't be going far.
You can't get people in the community to be like, just stay the night along like the roads that you come down to get to it and stuff. I was just thinking like big road.
Well, Chris could stay the night as on the way if you need to.
Yeah, he can do.
We're still quite far. We're Nottingham, so
yeah.
But
the offer's there, or even if you can get a train or something.
It's probably close
to it. I thought about that as well, but then I would get a train into the middle of London, and then I've got to get all of it. Yeah, just it's a nightmare.
Okay. So, yeah.
So I will get there at some point, but I don't know when.
I have to look into it.
So that was the show, everyone. Give it a rating out of 10. Hit the like button if you liked it, and comment, and tell us what you would have voted for. Tell us if you would have voted for Doctor Who, and then I can pass it on to Kieran. Anyway,
I was reading the comments. A lot of people were saying sci-fi musicals can get in the bin, so I was maybe I should have generalized it. That might have, yeah.
Maybe we could do like a performing arts version or like creative version of Room 101 or something like that.
Maybe, I don't know. Yeah.
And just narrow it down that way.
Kieran's channel will be fine.
Listen, it's very hard for me to pick theme park related stuff. It's an industry I work in. I don't want to upset people, and
I think you've already upset Brandcaster. I think you've already upset Brandcaster, saying what have you done to the right?
No, that would be my question because
when I go to the event, I'm going to say that by mistake. I'm going. Sorry, I got a question for Brandcaster.
But no, I
dare you to.
But no, I say that because genuinely, like, if you were to put people in a Q&A about Nemesis, you'd think, oh, well, John Wardley definitely, John Burton definitely, the divisional director of the part. That wouldn't be my top three.
See, I don't mind that. I just mind the fact that everyone's going to ask the usual questions, and I want them to ask the difficult questions.
Well, that's the thing. So yeah, it'll be an interesting one for that. Like you say, if you ask generalized questions, are they going to shoot you down and go, let's keep it towards Nemesis? Or are they going to answer? It's an interesting one. But yeah, sadly, I won't be there. I would have liked to have been, but yeah, I'm not going to be, unfortunately.
Just to let you all know, thank you all so much for watching. Give us a like. Please do share us. We are a lovely bunch. And obviously ask people to join in and subscribe as well.
Hang on. Oh. Andy's got a joke. Here we go.
Uh-oh.
The guy that I've heard this one before.
Yeah.
Jokes. What was the other one that I think he said? He was mugged by 6 dwarfs. He wasn't happy or something. Something like that.
Oh, okay.
Something like that. Yeah, he told me that one as well. But does anyone know the catchphrase before we go?
The catchphrase?
No. Yeah, does anyone know the catchphrase before we go? No.
See you in the mirror one?
See you in the rear view, yeah. Chris knows it.
See you in the rear view.
Because for now, we're gone.
We're gone, yeah.
Bye.